Welcome to Chinese History and Mythology.
Hey friends, welcome back to Chinese History and Mythology. Last time we talked about how after Zhu Zhiliang pacified the south, he officially began his first northern campaign. After the great army set out, Zhu Zhiliang passed through Mianyang and happened to pass by the tomb of his old general Ma Chao, so he personally set up an altar and offered sacrifice. After the ceremony, the Shu army continued discussing the plan for advancing. At this time, Wei Yan proposed a very bold plan. He was willing to lead 5,000 elite soldiers through the small Ziwu Valley path and launch a surprise attack on Chang'an. If Xiahou Mao heard that the Shu army had suddenly appeared below the city walls, he would surely panic and flee. Then Zhu Zhiliang could send troops through the main Zi Valley road and take the vast land west of Xianyang in one move. But Zhu Zhiliang did not accept this plan. He believed that a surprise attack through Ziwu Valley was too risky. If the Wei army saw through it and set an ambush in the mountains, those 5,000 elite soldiers would be completely wiped out, and Shu morale would suffer a heavy blow. So Zhu Zhiliang decided to advance steadily through the main road of Longyu. Although Wei Yan was dissatisfied in his heart, he could only obey. Meanwhile, on the Wei side, Cao Rui sent the imperial son-in-law Xiahou Mao to command the troops of Guangzhong and face the Shu army. Xiahou Mao had no real battlefield experience, but because of his noble status, he was appointed as commander. Under him was a great general from Ziliang named Han De, who brought his 4 sons and 80,000 Western Qiang soldiers to Fengming Mountain. There, he happened to meet the Shu vanguard, Zhao Yun and Deng Ji. Han De cursed the Shu army loudly before the formation, and Zhao Yun went out to fight in anger. Although Zhao Yun was already over 70 at this time, he was still incredibly brave. Before the formation, he killed Han De's sons one after another, captured Han Yao alive, and frightened the Ziliang soldiers so badly that they lost all courage. Later, when Han De came out to fight in person, Zhao Yun stabbed him to death within only a few rounds. Deng Ji seized the chance and attacked, and the Wei army suffered a major defeat. When Xiahou Mao heard that Zhao Yun was so fierce, he was frightened. So he followed Cheng Wu's plan, set up an ambush and lured Zhao Yun deep into the encirclement. Zhao Yun underestimated the enemy for a moment and truly fell into the trap. He fought from daytime until night, but still could not break out. He even looked up to heaven and sighed, thinking that he might die there. At the critical moment, Zhang Bao and Guanxing arrived by Zhu Zhiliang's order to support him. Zhang Bao killed Zhu Ze, and Guanxing killed Dong Shi. The two of them charged into the encirclement and rescued Zhao Yun. When Zhao Yun saw these 2 younger generals rushing to win merit, he was unwilling to fall behind. He reorganized his troops and attacked together with Guanxing and Zhang Bao from 3 directions, badly defeating the Wei army. Xiahou Mao fled in panic into Nan'an City, and the Shu army soon surrounded Nan'an completely. But Nan'an had deep moats and high walls, and even after 10 days of attack, the city still could not be taken. After Zhu Zhiliang personally came below the city and inspected it, he judged that Nan'an should not be attacked for too long, so he changed to using strategy. First, he sent someone to pretend to be Pei Su, a trusted officer of Xiahou Mao, and go to Anding and Tianshui to request reinforcements, luring the 2 commanderies into sending troops. Kui Liang, the governor of Anding, fell into the trap and left the city, only to be intercepted by the Shu army. Anding was also taken by Wei Yan during the opportunity. After that, Kui Liang pretended to surrender and tried to trick Zhu Zhiliang in return, but Kongming saw through him. Guanxing and Zhang Bao then mixed into Nan'an City, killed Yang Ling and Kui Liang, and the Shu army took the city in one move. Wang Ping also captured Xiahou Mao alive. Zhu Zhiliang originally wanted to use the same method to take Tianshui, but unexpectedly, a young man appeared in Tianshui commandery. His name was Jiang Wei, courtesy name Boyu. Jiang Wei saw through Zhu Zhiliang's plan to lure out the enemy, and instead set an ambush of his own, nearly causing Zhao Yun to fail. After Zhu Zhiliang heard this, he was very surprised and sighed that Tianshui actually had such a talent. To win over Jiang Wei, Zhu Zhiliang did not attack by force. Instead, he set up one plan after another. First, he used Jiang Wei's devotion to his mother and made him enter Ji City to rescue her. Then, he deliberately released Xiahou Mao, making Xiahou Mao mistakenly believe that Jiang Wei had already surrendered to Shu Han. After that, Kongming sent someone to disguise himself as Jiang Wei below Tianshui City and trick the city, making Ma Zun and Xiahou Mao both believe that Jiang Wei had betrayed Wei. Later, Jiang Wei left the city to seize grain, and Wei Yan took the chance to capture Ji City. When Jiang Wei returned to Tianshui, Tianshui refused to open its gates. When he went to Shangui also treated him as a traitor. With no road left ahead or behind, Jiang Wei fled alone and finally met Zhu Zhiliang on the mountain road. Kong Ming personally got down from his carriage to welcome him, persuaded him to surrender, and said that he had always wanted to find someone who could inherit everything he had learned. Today, he had finally found Jiang Wei. After Jiang Wei submitted, he immediately offered Kong Ming a plan and helped the Shu army take Tianshui and Shanggui. Zhu Zhiliang gained 3 cities in a row, and his fame shook the surrounding regions. He also said, "Letting Xiahou Mao go is only like letting go of a duck. Gaining Jiang Wei is like gaining a phoenix." When the news reached Luoyang, the Wei ruler Cao Rui was greatly shocked, so he appointed Cao Zhen as Grand Commander, Guo Huai as Deputy Commander, and Wang Lang as military advisor, leading 200,000 troops to face the Shu army. The two armies faced each other below Mount Qi. Wang Lang rode out and tried to use heaven's will and great righteousness to persuade Zhu Zhiliang to withdraw. He said that Cao Wei had followed heaven's will and had already replaced the Han house, while Shu Han was going against heaven. But after Zhu Zhiliang heard this, he publicly rebuked Wang Lang for betraying the Han house and joining traitors who had usurped the state. He cursed Wang Lang until his blood surged upward, and Wang Lang fell dead from his horse. After Wang Lang died, Wei morale was shaken. Cao Zhen and Guo Huai originally wanted to set an ambush at night, lure the Shu army into raiding their camp, and then counterattack the Shu camp. But Zhu Zhiliang had already seen through their plan. He turned it back against them, setting up an empty camp and hidden troops, causing the Wei army to kill one another in the darkness. In the end, Zhao Yun, Wei Yan, Guanxing, Zhang Bao, and the others attacked together and badly defeated the Wei army. After this battle, Shu morale rose greatly, while the Wei army lost many soldiers and generals, but Guo Huai did not admit defeat. He offered Cao Zhen another plan, saying it could make the Shu army unable to look after both front and rear, forcing them to withdraw. So what plan will Guo Huai use next? Can Zhu Zhiliang's first northern campaign continue pushing forward and truly threaten Cao Wei's Guangzhou region? And Jiang Wei, who has just submitted to Shu Han, what role will he play in the coming battles? Let's continue the story. After Cao Zhen and Guo Huai were defeated, they were in the camp discussing how to drive back the enemy. Guo Huai said to Cao Zhen, "The various tribes of Western Qiang have been sending tribute every year since the time when Cao Cao was still alive, and Emperor Wen also treated them generously. Now we can hold the dangerous passes and send people through small paths into Qiang territory to ask for help. We can promise them gold and silver, and also promise to form a marriage alliance. If the Qiang people are willing to raise troops and attack the Shu army from behind, while we send troops from the front, then with attacks from both sides, we will surely win a great victory." After Cao Zhen heard this, he thought it made sense and immediately sent men overnight to the Qiang lands to ask for reinforcements. The king of Western Qiang was named Cheliji. Since the time of Cao Cao, he had been sending tribute to Wei. Under him, there were 2 important ministers, the civil minister, Chancellor Yu Dan, and the military commander, Marshal Ye Ji. The Wei envoy brought gold, silver, treasures, and a letter. He first met Yu Dan and explained the request for help. Yu Dan then led him to meet Cheliji and presented the letter and gifts one by one. After Cheliji read the letter, he discussed it with his ministers. Yu Dan said, "We have always had dealings with Wei. Now Commander Cao is asking for help, and he is also willing to form a marriage alliance with us. We should help him." Cheliji nodded in agreement and immediately ordered Yu Dan and Yoji to lead 150,000 Qiang soldiers into battle. These Qiang soldiers were skilled with bows, crossbows, spears, blades, caltrops, flying hammers, and other weapons. They also had a kind of iron cart, covered in iron armor and full of iron nails. These carts could carry grain and also weapons. Some were pulled by camels, while others were dragged by mules and horses. They were known as the Iron Cart Troops. Yadan and Yueji took leave of the Qiang king and led the army straight toward Xping Pass. The Shu general Han Zhen, who guarded the pass, learned that the Qiang soldiers were attacking and immediately sent an urgent report to Kong Ming. After Kong Ming received the report, he asked the generals, "Who dares go out and resist the Qiang soldiers?" Zhang Bao and Guanxing immediately asked for the order. Kong Ming said, "Although you are brave, you are not familiar with the terrain of the Qiang lands." So he summoned Ma Dai and said, "You lived for a long time in the Qiang lands and know the habits of the Qiang people well. You will lead the way." He then assigned 50,000 elite soldiers, with Ma Dai guiding the route, and Zhang Bao and Guanxing leading the army into battle. Several days later, the Shu army indeed encountered the Qiang soldiers below a mountain. Guanxing first led more than 100 cavalry to climb to a high place and observe. He saw that the Qiang soldiers had linked their iron carts head to tail. They could set up camp anywhere, and the carts were filled with weapons, looking like iron cities one after another. Guanxing watched for a long time, but could not find a way to defeat them. He had no choice but to return to camp and discuss it with Zhang Bao and Ma Dai. Ma Dai said, "Let us wait until tomorrow's battle and then see what is real and what is false." The next day, the Shu army divided into 3 routes, Guanxing in the center, Zhang Bao on the left, and Ma Dai on the right. They advanced together. From the Qiang formation, Marshal Yeji rushed out on horseback, holding an iron hammer and carrying a carved bow at his waist. When Guanxing saw this, he called the 3 routes of troops forward to attack. Suddenly, the Qiang soldiers split to both sides, and the iron carts rushed out from the middle, rolling forward like a tide. From the cart formation, bows and crossbows fired together, and arrows fell like rain. The Shu soldiers were immediately badly defeated. Zhang Bao and Ma Dai withdrew first with their 2 routes, but Guanxing's army was surrounded by the Qiang soldiers. The iron carts formed a tight circle, as solid as a city wall. Guanxing charged left and right, but he could not break free, so he had to flee toward a mountain valley. The sky was growing dark when suddenly, a cluster of black flags came rushing over. A Qiang general holding an iron hammer shouted loudly, "Young general, do not run. I am Marshal Yueji." Guanxing hurried forward to flee, but ahead of him was a broken ravine, so he had no choice but to turn back and fight. The two fought for several rounds, and Guanxing gradually could not hold on. He could only retreat toward the edge of the ravine. Yueji chased after him and smashed down with his iron hammer. Guanxing quickly dodged, but the hammer struck his horse's flank. The horse fell into the ravine, and Guanxing also fell into the water. Suddenly, there was a huge crash, and Yueji behind him also fell into the water with his horse. Guanxing struggled out of the water and saw a fierce general charging from the bank, already driving back the Qiang soldiers. Guanxing was just about to go cut down Yueji, but Yueji leaped through the water and escaped. Guanxing seized Yueji's horse, led it to the bank, straightened the saddle, and jumped onto its back. He thought, "This man saved my life. I must meet him." So he urged his horse forward and chased after him. When he got closer, he saw, through the clouds and mist, the faint shape of a great general. He wore a green robe and golden armor. His face was like a red date. His eyebrows were like sleeping silkworms. He carried the green dragon crescent blade, rode the red hare horse, and stroked his beautiful beard. It was clearly his father, Lord Guan. Guanxing was shocked. He saw Lord Guan stretch out his hand and point southeast, saying, "My son, quickly take this road. I will protect you back to camp." After saying this, he disappeared. Guanxing followed his words and hurried southeast. At midnight, he encountered a force of soldiers. It was Zhang Bao. As soon as Zhang Bao saw Guanxing, he asked, "Did you see my second uncle?" Guanxing asked in shock, "How did you know?" Zhang Bao said, "I was being chased closely by the Iron Cart army when I suddenly saw my uncle descend from the sky." He frightened off the enemy soldiers, then pointed to a road and said, "Go this way to rescue my son." So I led troops to look for you. Guanxing explained in detail what he had seen and experienced. The two sighed in amazement and returned to the military camp together. After Ma Dai welcomed them back, he said, "This Qiang army is difficult to deal with. I will guard the camp first. You should hurry back and report to the Chancellor and ask him to find a way to defeat the enemy." The two rushed back through the night and reported to Kong Ming. After Kong Ming heard everything, he immediately ordered Zhao Yun and Wei Yan to each lead a force and set up ambushes separately. He himself personally led 30,000 troops, bringing Zhang Wei, Zhang Yi, Guanxing, and Zhang Bao, and hurried to Ma Dai's camp. The next day, Kong Ming climbed to a high place and observed the iron cart formation. He saw the iron cart camps connected into one vast stretch, with soldiers and horses rushing back and forth, and their momentum was huge. Kong Ming smiled and said, "This formation is not hard to break." So he called Ma Dai and Zhang Yi over and quietly gave them instructions, ordering them to make arrangements in secret. Then Kong Ming summoned Jiang Wei and asked, "Bo Yu, do you know how to defeat these iron cart troops?" Jiang Wei answered, "The Qiang soldiers only rely on brute strength. They do not understand any clever strategy." Kong Ming smiled and said, "You truly understand what I mean. Now the sky is covered with dark clouds, the north wind is roaring, and snow is about to fall. My plan can now be used." So, Ming arranged for Guanxing and Zhang Bao to lead troops and hide in ambush. He also ordered Zhang Wei to lead troops into battle. If the iron cart soldiers chased him, he was to pretend that he could not resist and immediately retreat. At the gate of the Shu camp, only flags were to be planted, with no troops arranged there. At that time, it was already the end of the 12th month, and sure enough, heavy snow fell from the sky. Zhang Wei led troops into battle, and Yueji also led the iron cart troops to face him. Zhang Wei pretended that he could not win and immediately withdrew. The Qiang soldiers chased all the way to the front of the Shu camp, only to see Zhang Wei leaving through the rear gate. The Qiang soldiers observed from outside the camp and only heard the sound of a zither inside. The surroundings were empty, with only a few flags standing there, so they went back and reported to Yueji. Yueji became suspicious and did not dare enter lightly, but Yadan said, "This is Zhuge Liang using an empty formation to frighten us. This is exactly the time to attack." So Yueji personally led troops to the front of the Shu camp. He saw Ming carrying his zither onto the carriage, with only a few cavalry beside him, slowly leaving from the rear of the camp. The Qiang soldiers charged into the camp and passed through the camp entrance. They saw Ming's small carriage slowly entering the forest. Yadan said, "Even if there are some ambushes, they are not worth fearing." So he urged the great army to continue the pursuit. Sure enough, they saw Zhang Wei's army fleeing in panic through the snow. Yueji burned with anger and urged his soldiers to chase quickly. The mountain road was covered by heavy snow and looked completely flat. During the pursuit, someone suddenly came to report, "Shu troops are attacking from behind the mountain." But Yadan said, "Even if there are small groups of ambush troops, what is there to fear?" He still urged the army forward. Suddenly, there was a huge crash, as if the mountain had collapsed and the earth had split open. The Qiang soldiers fell one after another into large pits that had been dug in advance. The iron cart troops behind them were heavy and difficult to stop. Once the front army fell in, the rear army crashed into them. Carts and horses overturned, and they trampled one another. The Qiang soldiers at the back wanted to turn around and flee, but they were cut off by two armies on the left and right. On the left was Guanxing, and on the right was Zhang Bao, with thousands of arrows firing together. From behind, Zhang Wei, Ma Dai, and Zhang Yi also led 3 routes of troops to attack at once, and the Qiang army fell into complete chaos. Yueji tried to flee toward the valley behind the mountain, but Guanxing blocked him head-on. The 2 horses had only just met when Guanxing shouted loudly and cut Yueji down from his horse with one strike. Yadan was also captured alive by Ma Dai and escorted to Ming's main camp. The Qiang soldiers scattered and fled in every direction. After Ming held court in the command tent, he ordered the soldiers to untie Yadan's ropes, gave him wine to calm his fear, and comforted him with kind words. Yadan was so grateful that tears filled his eyes. Ming said, "My lord is the emperor of the Great Han, and now I have received orders to punish the rebels. Why did you help the rebels create disorder? But I understand that you were misled by others, so this time I will release you. Go back and tell your king that Han and Qiang are neighboring states and should form a lasting friendship. Do not listen to the slander of rebels again." After saying this, Ming returned all the captured Qiang soldiers, iron carts, and weapons, releasing them all back to the Qiang state. Yadan and the Qiang soldiers bowed in thanks and left. Ming then led the great army back to the main camp at Mount Qi that very night. He ordered Guanxing and Zhang Bao to go ahead first, and also sent men to submit a victory report to the court. Meanwhile, on the wayside, Cao Zhen was waiting every day for news from the Qiang soldiers. Suddenly, a soldier came to report, "The Shu army has already pulled up camp. It seems they are preparing to retreat." Guo Huai was delighted. "It looks like the Qiang attack has worked. The Shu army really is retreating." So he and Cao Zhen divided into 2 roads and pursued. When the Wei army saw the Shu soldiers running chaotically ahead, they chased closely. The vanguard Cao Zhen was pursuing with great energy when suddenly, drums thundered, and an ambush force rushed out. The leader was Wei Yan. Wei Yan shouted, "Rebel, do not run." Cao Zhen urged his horse forward to fight, but after only a few rounds, Wei Yan cut him down with one strike. The deputy vanguard Zhu Zan continued the pursuit, but he also ran into an ambush. The leader was Zhao Yan. Zhu Zan was caught off guard, and was stabbed to death by Zhao Yan with one spear thrust. When Cao Zhen and Guo Huai learned that both vanguard generals had been lost, they were just about to withdraw the troops when battle cries rose behind them again. Guanxing and Zhang Bao led 2 routes of ambush troops out and surrounded the Wei army completely. The Wei army suffered a major defeat. Cao Zhen and Guo Huai could only lead the remaining soldiers and flee desperately for their lives. The Shu army chased them all the way to the Wei River and even captured the Wei army's main camp. Having lost 2 vanguard generals, Cao Zhen was filled with grief and had no choice but to submit a memorial to the court, asking for reinforcements. Meanwhile, at the Wei court, the Wei ruler Cao Rui was listening to affairs in the palace hall. A close minister submitted a report. Grand Commander Cao Zhen has suffered defeat again and again. Both vanguard generals have died, and the Qiang soldiers have also been defeated. The battle situation is urgent. Cao Zhen has submitted a memorial asking for reinforcements. May your majesty make a decision. Cao Rui was greatly shocked and urgently asked for a plan to drive back the enemy. Hua Xin suggested, "This time, your majesty must personally lead the campaign. Only by gathering the lords can you inspire the people's hearts and force the enemy army to retreat. Otherwise, if Chang'an is lost, Guangzhou will be in danger." Grand Tutor Zhang Yao submitted a memorial and said, "Although Cao Zhen has long experience in battle, he is not Zhu Zhiliang's match. I am willing to guarantee one man with the lives of my whole family. This man will surely be able to drive back the Shu army." Cao Rui asked, "Who is it?" Zhang Yao answered, "It is Sima Yi, general of agile cavalry." The reason Zhu Zhiliang delayed sending troops for so long was originally because he feared this man. Later, he deliberately spread rumors, making your majesty suspect Sima Yi and set him aside. Only then did he dare attack boldly. Now, as long as Sima Yi is used again, Zhu Liang will surely retreat. Cao Rui sighed and said, "I regret that matter deeply now. Where is Zhong Da at this moment?" Zhong Yao replied, "I have heard that he is living idle in Wangcheng." So Cao Rui immediately issued an urgent decree, sending an envoy with the official staff to Wangcheng. He restored Sima Yi's office, further appointed him commander who pacifies the West, and ordered him to gather the troops of Nanyang and go to Chang'an. Cao Rui also decided to personally lead the campaign, and ordered Sima Yi to arrive on time and join him. At the same time, Kang Ming had won battle after battle at the main camp on Mount Qi and was feeling pleased. Suddenly, a messenger came to report. Li Feng, the son of Li Yan, who guards Yangkon Palace, has come to request an audience. When Kang Ming heard this, he thought Eastern Wu had invaded and hurriedly ordered him into the tent. After Li Feng paid his respects, he said, "Chancellor, do not worry. I have come specially to report good news." Kang Ming asked, "What good news?" Li Feng answered, "In earlier years, Meng Da surrendered to Wei because he had no other choice. At that time, Cao Pi admired his ability, gave him high office and generous rewards, and ordered him to guard Shangyong, Xincheng, and other places. But after Cao Pi died and Cao Rui took the throne, many people in the court became jealous of Meng Da. He has been uneasy day and night, often saying that he was originally a man of Shu Han and only stayed in Wei because the situation forced him. Now, he has sent trusted men many times to contact my father, saying that after learning of the Chancellor's northern campaign, he is willing to raise troops in Jincheng, Xincheng, and Shenyang to support you and go straight for Luoyang. Once the Chancellor captures Chang'an, the 2 capitals can be pacified in one move." As Li Feng spoke, he presented the envoy sent by Meng Da along with the letters. Kang Ming was delighted after hearing this, and rewarded Li Feng and the people who came with him generously. Just as he was feeling pleased, a spy suddenly came to report. The Wei ruler Cao Rui has personally gone to Chang'an, and at the same time, he has already issued a decree to use Sima Yi again. He has appointed him commander who pacifies the West, and ordered him to gather his own troops and hurry to Chang'an to join him. Kang Ming was greatly shocked after hearing this, but the army advisor, Ma Shou, did not take it seriously. "If Cao Rui, true Difeng, comes to Chang'an, then we can capture him. Chancellor, why are you surprised?" Kang Ming sighed and said, "What I fear is not Cao Rui, but Sima Yi. Meng Da is now preparing to raise troops in response to us. If Sima Yi learns of this, it will surely fail. Meng Da is no match for Sima Yi. He will certainly be captured. Once Meng Da dies, it will be even harder for us to take the Central Plains." Ma Su quickly said, "If that is the case, we should hurry and write a letter, telling Meng Da to be on guard." Kang Ming nodded, and immediately wrote an urgent letter, ordering the messenger to deliver it to Xincheng through the night. After Meng Da waited in Xincheng and received Kong Ming's reply, he opened it and read it. The meaning of the letter was this: Kong Ming had learned that Meng Da remained loyal and had not forgotten his former lord. If he could succeed, he would be the first great minister in the restoration of the Han House. But this matter had to be handled with extreme caution, and he must never lightly trust others. Now the Wei ruler had again used Sima Yi. If Sima Yi learned of this, he would surely rush over at great speed, so Meng Da must guard against him carefully. After reading it, Meng Da smiled and said to those around him, "Everyone says Zhu Kongming is careful and worries too much. This letter proves it." Then he wrote a reply and sent it to Kong Ming. When Kong Ming received the reply, he opened it and read it. The letter said, "Sima Yi is not worth worrying about. Wancheng is 800 li from Luoyang and 1,200 li from Xincheng. If he learns that I am rising in revolt, he must first submit a memorial to the Wei ruler, and the back and forth will take at least 1 month. By the time he arrives, I will have already finished all my arrangements and can rest easy." After Kong Ming read this, he suddenly threw the letter to the ground, stamped his foot, and sighed, "Meng Da will surely die at Sima Yi's hands." Ma Su asked the reason. Kong Ming said, "The art of war says, attack where the enemy is unprepared, and strike when he does not expect it. If Sima Yi is truly ordered to put down the rebellion, how could he first submit a memorial and wait for instructions? Since the Wei ruler is using him again, as soon as he hears any news, he will certainly lead troops there at once. How could he wait a month? Meng Da is looking down on the enemy too much." After hearing this, all the generals admired him. Kong Ming hurriedly ordered the messenger to return again to Xincheng and give Meng Da a spoken message. "If you have not yet raised troops, you must not let your partners know about this matter. Once the secret is leaked, you will surely fail." Now, Sima Yi was living idle in Wangcheng. When he heard that the Wei army had been repeatedly defeated by the Shu army, he looked up to heaven and sighed. His elder son Sima Shi and his second son Sima Zhao were attending him nearby. Sima Shi asked, "Father, why are you sighing?" Sima Yi said, "How could you understand the great affairs of the world today?" Sima Zhao smiled and said, "Sooner or later, the Wei ruler will invite father to come out again." Before he had finished speaking, an envoy from the palace arrived, holding the official staff and battle axe, and carrying the imperial command, summoning Sima Yi to go on campaign. After receiving the decree, Sima Yi immediately gathered the troops of Wangcheng and put the army in order. At this time, someone else came to report that a household man of Shen Yi, the governor of Jincheng, had a secret matter and requested an audience. Sima Yi summoned the man into a private room and questioned him closely. The man explained everything in detail. Meng Da was preparing to rebel, and Meng Da's trusted officer Li Fu and his nephew Deng Shan had also secretly offered themselves to Wei. The evidence was solid. After Sima Yi heard this, he held his forehead and sighed. This is truly His Majesty's great fortune. Zhu Liang has been winning battle after battle at Mount Qi, and the Son of Heaven has had no choice but to personally go to Chang'an. If I had been used again just a little later, once Meng Da rose in rebellion, the two capitals would have been in danger. Meng Da must be secretly working with Zhu Liang. If I capture Meng Da first, Zhu Liang's heart will surely turn cold, and the Shu army will naturally retreat, Sima Shi advised. Father, you should quickly submit a memorial and report this to His Majesty. Sima Yi shook his head and said, "If we wait for the memorial to go and return, at least 1 month will pass, and the matter will already be ruined." So he immediately ordered the whole army to set out, traveling 2 days' distance in 1 day, and anyone who delayed would be executed. At the same time, he ordered the army advisor Liang Ji to carry a false letter to Xincheng, pretending to command Meng Da to assist in attacking the Shu army, so that Meng Da would not become suspicious. Liang Ji went ahead first, and Sima Yi then sent out the army. After traveling for 2 days, he met the right general Su Huang on the road. Su Huang dismounted and paid respects, then asked, "The Son of Heaven is stationed in Chang'an. Commander, where are you going on this journey?" Sima Yi said quietly, "Meng Da is rebelling. I am going to capture him." Su Huang said, "I am willing to serve as vanguard." Sima Yi was delighted, so he joined forces with him, making Su Huang the vanguard, while he himself stayed in the center army and his 2 sons guarded the rear. After another 2 days of travel, the scouts in the front army captured one of Meng Da's trusted men and found Zhu Zhiliang's reply letter on him. After Sima Yi read it, he was greatly shocked. Kong Ming has already seen through my plan. Fortunately, the Son of Heaven has good fortune and allowed me to learn of this letter in time. Meng Da can no longer do anything now. After saying this, Sima Yi ordered the army to march through the night and advance at full speed. At this time, Meng Da was in Xincheng. He had already agreed on the date for raising troops with Shen Yi, the governor of Jincheng, and Shen Dan, the governor of Shenyong. Shen Dan and Shen Yi agreed on the service, but secretly, they trained their soldiers every day, only waiting for the Wei army to arrive, so they could work from inside with the outside troops. They also told Meng Da, "Our weapons and grain are not yet ready, so the uprising must be delayed a little longer." Meng Da did not suspect them at all. Before long, Liang Ji arrived at Xincheng. Meng Da personally went out to welcome him. Liang Ji delivered Sima Yi's order. By the emperor's command, the commander is gathering troops to attack the Shu army. He asks the governor to prepare your own troops and wait for orders. Meng Da asked, "When did the commander set out?" Liang Ji replied, "At this moment, he has already left Wangqing and is heading toward Chang'an." Meng Da was secretly delighted and thought, "My great plan is complete." He held a banquet to entertain Liang Ji. After sending him out of the city, he immediately informed Shen Dan and Shen Yi. Tomorrow, they would raise troops, change to the banners of the Great Han, and march straight to Luoyang. Suddenly, someone came to report. "Dust is rising outside the city. We do not know which army has arrived." Meng Da hurriedly climbed the wall to look. He saw a great banner reading, "Right General Su Huang," and the army was rushing toward the city at great speed. Meng Da was shocked and ordered the drawbridge raised. Su Huang's horse was moving too quickly and had already charged to the edge of the moat. He shouted, "Rebel Meng Da, surrender at once." Meng Da flew into a rage, drew his bow himself, and shot an arrow that struck Su Huang in the forehead. The Wei soldiers hurriedly rescued Su Huang and withdrew for the moment. Meng Da was just about to open the gate and pursue when suddenly banners filled all four sides. Sima Yi's great army had arrived. Meng Da looked up to heaven and sighed. It is exactly as Kong Ming predicted. He had no choice but to close the city and defend it. After Su Huang was struck by the arrow, he was sent back to the army camp for treatment, but the wound was too severe. That night he died at the age of 59. Sima Yi ordered his coffin to be sent back to Luoyang for burial. The next day, Meng Da climbed the city wall and looked out at the enemy. He saw that the Wei army had surrounded the city on all four sides like an iron barrel, with no road left to escape. His mind was unsettled, and he could neither sit nor stand in peace. Suddenly, he saw two armies attacking from outside, with banners reading Shen Dan and Shen Yi. Meng Da thought reinforcements had arrived and immediately opened the gate, leading troops out. Unexpectedly, Shen Dan and Shen Yi shouted loudly, "Rebel, do not run, prepare to die." Meng Da was shocked and hurriedly turned his horse, wanting to flee back into the city, but arrows rained down from the city wall, and Li Fu and Deng Shan cursed loudly. "We have already handed over the city." Seeing that the situation was lost, Meng Da fled in panic, but he and his horse were exhausted, and he was caught off guard. Shen Dan caught up with him, stabbed him from his horse with one spear thrust, and beheaded him on the spot. Meng Da's subordinates surrendered one after another. Li Fu and Deng Shan opened the city gates and welcomed Sima Yi into the city. After Sima Yi comforted the people and rewarded the three armies, he sent men to report the news to the Wei ruler, Cao Rui. Cao Rui was delighted. He ordered Meng Da's head to be sent to the streets of Luoyang and displayed publicly. He rewarded Shen Dan and Shen Yi, ordering them to continue following Sima Yi in the campaign against the Shu army. He also ordered Li Fu and Deng Shan to guard Xincheng and Xiangyong separately. Sima Yi then led his troops to Chang'an and set up camp outside the city. He entered the city to meet Cao Rui. Cao Rui said, "I was foolish for a moment and was deceived by a plan of division. I regret it deeply. Now Meng Da rebelled. If you had not pacified him so quickly, the two capitals might already have fallen." Sima Yi replied, "I received Shen Yi's secret report and originally wanted to submit a memorial to your majesty, but I feared losing the moment, so I took it upon myself to send troops through the night. If I had waited for the imperial decree, I would have fallen straight into Zhu Zhiliang's plan." After saying this, he presented Kong Ming's secret letter to Meng Da. After Cao Rui read it, he was greatly pleased. "Your talent and wisdom surpass Sun Wu and Wu Qi." So he rewarded Sima Yi with a pair of golden axes, allowed him from then on to handle major military affairs according to the situation without asking for instructions on every matter, and ordered him to go out beyond the pass and continue the campaign against the Shu army. Sima Yi submitted a report and said, "I recommend one great general who can serve as vanguard." Cao Rui asked, "Whom do you recommend?" Sima Yi replied, "Right General Zhang, he is worthy of the task." Cao Rui smiled and said, "I was just thinking of using him." So he appointed Zhang He as vanguard and sent him together with Sima Yi to attack Shu. Now, the Wei ruler, Cao Rui, appointed Zhang He as vanguard and sent him on campaign, together with Sima Yi. He also sent Xin Pi and Sen Li with 50,000 soldiers to support Cao Zhen. The two accepted the order and left. Sima Yi led 200,000 troops out beyond the pass and set up camp. He summoned the vanguard Zhang He into the tent to discuss strategy and said, "Zhu Liang has always been cautious and never takes reckless risks. If I were the one using troops, I would go straight through Ziwu Valley and seize Chang'an. It would have already been taken. It is not that he lacks ability. He is simply afraid of making mistakes and does not dare take risks. Now he will surely send troops through Zi Valley and attack Mei City. If Mei City falls, he will divide his troops into 2 routes, and one route will go straight for Ji Valley. I have already written to Cao Zhen, telling him to defend Mei City to the death and not go out to fight. I have also ordered Jinpi and Sun Li to defend the mouth of Ji Valley. If the Shu army attacks, they are to strike back with surprise troops." Zhang He asked, "From where does the commander plan to advance?" Sima Yi replied, "West of the Qinling Mountains, there is an important road called Jiting. Beside it is also Liliu City. Both are the throat of Hanzhong. Zhu Liang will think that Cao Zhen's side is not prepared, so he will surely advance from here. If you and I seize Jiting first, it will be the same as cutting off the Shu army's grain route. Once Zhu Liang knows that Jiting has been lost, Longxi will no longer be secure, and he will surely withdraw to Hanzhong overnight. If he withdraws, we will set ambushes along the small roads. If he does not withdraw, I will seal off every route and not allow a single grain of rice to be delivered in. Within 1 month, the Shu army will fall into disorder by itself." After Zhang He heard this, he admired him deeply and bowed down, saying, "Commander, your calculations are truly divine." Sima Yi then warned him again, "Zhu Liang is not someone like Meng Da. Although you are the vanguard, you must not be reckless. When marching, you must send scouts far along the mountain roads. Only after confirming there are no ambushes may you advance. With even the smallest mistake, you will surely fall into a trap." Zhang He accepted the order and led his troops ahead. Meanwhile, Kong Ming was in the main camp at Mount Qi when a secret scout from Xincheng suddenly came to report. Sima Yi marched day and night, and 8 days ago, he already reached Xincheng. Meng Da was completely unprepared. Shen Dan, Shen Yi, Li Fu, Deng Xian, and the others worked from inside with the outside troops, and in the end, Meng Da died in the chaos of battle. Now Sima Yi has returned to Chang'an to meet the Wei ruler, and he is leading troops out beyond the pass together with Zhang He to deal with our army. After Kong Ming heard this, he was greatly shocked and said, "Meng Da did not keep his plans secret, so he did not die unjustly. Now that Sima Yi has personally come out beyond the pass, he must be planning to seize Jiting and cut off the throat of our army." He then asked the generals, "Who dares lead troops to guard Jiting?" As soon as he finished speaking, Army Advisor Ma Su stepped forward. "I am willing to go." Kong Ming frowned and said, "Though Jiting is small, it is extremely important. If Jiting is lost, our great army will have no road to advance or retreat. Although you have studied military books well, that place has no city walls and no strong natural defenses. It is very difficult to guard." Ma Su said confidently, "Since childhood, I have read widely through military books. I have my own strategies. How could I fail to defend a single Jiting?" Kong Ming shook his head. "You must not underestimate the enemy. Sima Yi is no ordinary man, and Zhang He is also a famous general of Wei. I fear you may not be able to deal with them." Ma Su said proudly, "Not to mention Sima Yi and Zhang He, even if Cao Rui came in person, I would have no fear. If anything goes wrong, I am willing to have my whole family executed," Kong Ming said sternly. "There are no jokes in the army." So Ma Su wrote and submitted a military pledge. Seeing that Ma Su was so determined, Kong Ming had no choice but to agree. He gave him 25,000 elite soldiers and then called Wang Ping over, saying, "I know you have always been cautious, so I am sending you to assist Ma Su." After you arrive at Jieting, you must set up camp on the main road so the enemy cannot secretly pass through. Once the camp is set, draw a detailed map and send it back to me for review. Everything must be discussed carefully. You must not make decisions on your own. If Jieting is defended successfully, it will be the first achievement in taking Chang'an. Remember this well. Wang Ping and Ma Su took leave and departed. Kongming thought it over and still felt uneasy, so he called Gaoxiang and said, "Northeast of Jieting, there is a small city called Lilu City. The mountain road there is hidden and suitable for stationing troops. Take 10,000 soldiers there and set up camp. If anything happens at Jieting, support them at once." Gaoxiang accepted the order and set out. Kongming then thought that if Gaoxiang encountered Zheng He might not be able to handle him, so another great general had to be added. He summoned Wei Yan and said, "Take your own troops and set up camp behind Jieting." Wei Yan was dissatisfied and said, "I am originally the vanguard. I should be the first to defeat the enemy. Why are you making me guard the rear?" Kongming explained, "Serving as vanguard is only the duty of a deputy general. Now I am asking you to guard the throat of Han Zhang. This is a true heavy responsibility. This matter is extremely important. You must not be careless." Only then was Wei Yan pleased, and he led his troops away. Kongming then summoned Zhao Yun and Deng Ji and said, "Now Sima Yi's use of troops is different from before. Each of you should lead one army and set out from Ji Valley, using false troops to confuse the enemy. If you encounter Wei soldiers, you may fight or you may avoid fighting. Your only purpose is to shake their minds. I will personally lead the great army from Z Valley and go straight for Mei City. Once Mei City is taken, Chang'an can be broken very soon." The two accepted the order and left. Kongming appointed Jiang Wei as vanguard, while he himself led the great army through Z Valley. Now, Ma Su and Wang Ping led their troops to Jieting and inspected the terrain. After Ma Su looked it over, he laughed loudly and said, "The Chancellor is far too worried. This place is so remote. How would the Wei soldiers dare come here?" Wang Ping said, "Even if the Wei soldiers do not come, we must not be careless. I see that 5 mountain roads meet at one place. That is exactly where we should set up camp. Then we can cut timber and build stockades for a long defense." Ma Su shook his head and said, "How can the middle of the road be a place to set up camp? This lone mountain beside us stands by itself on all 4 sides, and the woods are thick. It is a natural barrier. If we set up camp on the mountain summit, looking down from above, would that not be better?" Wang Ping said urgently, "Army advisor, that is wrong. If we guard the main road and build a camp there, even if the Wei soldiers come with 100,000 men, they still cannot secretly pass through. But now, if we abandon the main road and station troops on the mountain, what will we do if the Wei army surrounds the mountain and cuts off our water? Where will we retreat?" Ma Su laughed loudly. "That is a woman's view. The art of war says that when one occupies high ground and strikes downward, the force is unstoppable. If the Wei soldiers dare come, I will make sure not a single piece of their armor returns." Wang Ping still advised him, "I have followed the Chancellor for many years. Whenever we arrive somewhere, the Chancellor personally examines the terrain. In my view, this mountain is a dead place. If the road to water is cut off, we will not even need to fight. The soldiers' hearts will fall into disorder by themselves." Ma Su said impatiently, "The art of war also says that only by placing soldiers in a place of death can they survive. If the Wei soldiers cut off our water route, our army will naturally fight to the death, and each man will fight like 100. The Chancellor has asked me about many matters before. What right do you have to block me?" Seeing that Ma Su would not listen, Wang Ping could only say, "Since you insist on setting up camp on the mountain, then give me part of the troops. I will set up a separate small camp west of the mountain, so we can support each other like 2 horns. If the Wei soldiers come, we can still answer one another." Ma Su still would not accept the suggestion. At this time, groups of local people from the mountain suddenly came to report, "The Wei soldiers are here. They are nearby." Wang Ping had no choice but to take leave and go down the mountain. Ma Su sneered and said, "If you will not follow my orders, then take 5,000 men and set up camp below the mountain. After I defeat the Wei soldiers, do not think you can steal credit in front of the Chancellor." Wang Ping, helpless, led his troops 10 li away from the mountain and set up camp. He drew a map of the terrain and sent someone overnight to report to Kongming, explaining in detail that Ma Su insisted on setting up camp on the mountain. Meanwhile, in the Wei army, Sima Yi first sent his second son, Sima Zhao, to scout the road, warning him, "If there are Shu troops guarding Jieting, Do not move lightly. After Sima Zhao returned from scouting, he said, "There are indeed Shu soldiers guarding Jieting." Sima Yi sighed and said, "Zhu Zhiliang is truly a divine man. I feel ashamed that I am not his equal." But Sima Zhao smiled and said, "Father, why belittle yourself? In my view, Jieting can be taken easily." Sima Yi asked for the reason. Sima Zhao said, "I saw it with my own eyes. There is no camp set up on the main road at Jieting. All the Shu soldiers are on the mountain summit. This terrain is not suitable for defense at all, so naturally it can be broken." Sima Yi was delighted. "If that is truly so, then heaven is helping me succeed." So he changed into plain clothes and personally went with more than 100 cavalry to inspect it. That night, the sky was clear and the moon was bright. Sima Yi circled the mountain and inspected it before returning. From the mountain, Ma Su saw the Wei soldiers in the distance and only laughed. If they really knew how to accomplish anything, they would not just surround the mountain without attacking. So he gave orders to the whole army. If the enemy attacks the mountain, watch for the red flag on the summit to move. Then all four sides will charge down together. After Sima Yi returned to camp, he sent men to ask who was guarding Jieting. The scout reported, "It is Ma Su, the younger brother of Ma Liang." Sima Yi sneered, "So it is only a mediocre man with an empty reputation. How can Kong Ming use this kind of man to guard such an important place and not ruin things?" He then asked whether there were any other Shu troops around Jieting. The scout said, 10 li from the mountain, Wang Ping has set up camp." Sima Yi immediately ordered Zhang He to lead troops and cut off Wang Ping's road of support. He also ordered Shen Dan and Shen Yi to lead 2 rows of troops and surround the mountain completely. First, they were to cut off the water route, causing the Shu soldiers' morale to fall into disorder by itself, and then they would take the chance to attack. After dawn, Zhang He first led troops around to the rear of Wang Ping's camp, while Sima Yi led the great army out and surrounded the entire mountain so tightly that not even water could pass through. Ma Su stood on the mountain and looked down. He saw Wei soldiers filling the ground below, their banners orderly and their army formation strict. He immediately panicked. When the Shu soldiers on the mountain saw this, they were also all frightened and did not dare go down the mountain to fight. Ma Su waved the red flag and ordered the generals to charge down the mountain. But the men in the army pushed responsibility onto one another, and no one dared move. Ma Su was furious and executed 2 generals who disobeyed orders. The soldiers became even more frightened, but had no choice except to force themselves down the mountain and charge at the enemy. But the Wei army was as steady as Mount Tai and did not move at all. The Shu troops failed to break through, and had no choice but to retreat back up the mountain in defeat. Seeing that the situation was bad, Ma Su ordered the camp gates tightly shut and defended without coming out, only hoping that reinforcements from outside would come to rescue him. When Wang Ping saw that the Wei army had already arrived, he quickly led troops to attack and happened to meet Zhang He. The two fought for more than 50 rounds. Wang Ping gradually lost strength, and with no support, he had no choice but to retreat. The Wei army surrounded the mountain from the Chen hour until the Yu hour. On the mountain, the Shu army had no water and no grain, and the camp fell into complete chaos. At midnight, the Shu soldiers on the southern side of the mountain opened the camp gate, went down the mountain, and surrendered to the Wei army. Ma Su could not stop them. Sima Yi then ordered men to set fires along the mountain. When the Shu soldiers on the mountain saw flames rising everywhere, they fell into even greater disorder. Seeing that he could no longer hold the mountain, Ma Su took the remaining soldiers and fought his way out from the west side, fleeing in a terrible state. Sima Yi deliberately opened a main road and allowed Ma Su to escape. As soon as Ma Su left, Zhang He led troops in pursuit. After chasing more than 30 li, drums suddenly thundered ahead and an army rushed out. They let Ma Su pass but blocked Zhang He. It was Wei Yan. Wei Yan swung his blade and charged straight at Zhang He. Seeing that the situation was bad, Zhang He turned and fled. Wei Yan pursued in victory and took back Jieting. But after Wei Yan chased another 50 li, ambush troops suddenly rushed out from both sides. On the left was Sima Yi, and on the right was Sima Zhao. They had actually circled around behind Wei Yan and surrounded him completely. Zhang He also seized the chance to turn back and attack. 3 routes of Wei troops closed in together. Wei Yan charged left and right, but could not break free, and more than half of his soldiers and horses were lost. At the critical moment, Wang Ping led troops into the encirclement. Wei Yan was delighted and said, "I am saved." The two joined forces and fought a bloody battle, only then managing to push back the Wei army for the moment. Wei Yan and Wang Ping hurried back to the main camp, but they found that the camp was full of Wei banners, and Shen Dan and Shen Yi charged out from inside the camp. The two had no choice but to run toward Liliu City and seek refuge with Gao Xiang. When Gao Xiang learned that Jieting had been lost, he had already led the troops of Liliu City out to provide support, and he happened to meet Wei Yan and Wang Ping. After hearing what had happened, Gao Xiang said, "Why don't we raid the Wei camp tonight? Perhaps we can still retake Jieting." So the three men discussed their plan below a hillside, and after dark, they divided into 3 routes and moved out. Wei Yan was the first to reach Jieting, but he saw that the city was completely empty. Feeling doubtful, he did not dare rush in. He only hid in ambush at the road entrance. Before long, Gao Xiang also arrived. The two were discussing where the Wei army had gone, but Wang Ping still had not arrived. Suddenly, a cannon sounded, flames shot into the sky, and the Wei army rushed out together, surrounding Wei Yan and Gao Xiang in the middle. The two charged left and right, but could not escape. At a critical moment, Wang Ping charged into the encirclement from behind a hillside, rescued the 2 men, and they all ran toward Liliu City. But when they reached the foot of a city, there was already an army charging toward them. On the great banner were the words Wei Commander Guo Huai. It turned out that Guo Huai and Cao Zhen also wanted to compete for credit and had divided their troops to take Liliu City. When Guo Huai heard that Sima Yi had already taken Jieting, he went straight for Liliu City and happened to encounter Wei Yan, Wang Ping, and Gao Xiang. The two sides fought another fierce battle, and the Shu army suffered heavy losses. Wei Yan worried that Yangping Pass might also be lost, so he withdrew toward Yangping Pass together with Wang Ping and Gao Xiang. After Guo Huai gathered his troops, he said, "Although I did not take Jieting, I have taken Liliu City. This is also a great achievement." So he came below the city and called for the gate to be opened. Unexpectedly, cannons sounded inside the city, and banners rose. The front banner read, "Commander who pacifies the West, Sima Yi." Sima Yi leaned against the railing on the city wall and laughed loudly. "Guo Boji, you have arrived far too late." Guo Huai was greatly shocked and sighed in his heart. Zheng De's calculations are truly divine. I am not his equal. So he entered the city to meet him. Sima Yi said to Guo Huai, "Now that Jieting has been lost, Zhu Zhiliang will surely flee. You and Cao Zhen may pursue him day and night." Guo Huai obeyed and left the city to pursue. After that, Sima Yi summoned Zhang He and said, "Cao Zhen and Guo Huai are worried that I will take all the credit alone, so they also came to seize the city. I expect Wei Yan, Wang Ping, Ma Su, and Gao Xiang will surely try to occupy Yangping Pass. If I attack Yangping Pass, Zhu Zhiliang will certainly follow and attack from behind, and then I will have fallen into his plan. The art of war says, do not block an army that is returning home, and do not press a desperate enemy too hard. You should take a small path and circle around to Ji Valley to intercept the Shu army's retreat. I will personally lead troops to block Xi Valley. If the Shu army flees in defeat, do not stop them by force. Just intercept them halfway, and their grain, supplies, and baggage can all be seized." Zhang He accepted the order and left with half the troops. Sima Yi then gave another order. "Go straight for Xi Valley and enter through Xicheng. Though Xicheng is small, it is where the Shu army stores its grain. It is also the main road connecting Nanayan, Tianshui, and Nanjing commanderies. If we can take Xicheng, the 3 commanderies can be recovered." So he left Shen Dan and Shen Yi to guard Liliu City, while he personally led the great army towards Xi Valley. Meanwhile, ever since Cao Ming had sent Ma Su to guard Jieting, he had felt uneasy. Suddenly, a scout came to report that Wang Ping had sent someone with a map of Jieting. Cao Ming opened the map and looked at it. He slammed the table and cried out in shock, "That foolish Ma Su has ruined my army terribly." The people around him asked why. Cao Ming sighed and said, "He has placed the camp on the mountain, but abandoned the most important road. If the Wei army arrives in great force and surrounds the mountain on all sides, cutting off the road to water, then within 2 days the army will fall into chaos. Once Jieting is lost, where can our army withdraw?" Chief Clerk Yang Yi stepped forward and said, "Although I have no great talent, I am willing to replace Ma Su and guard Jieting." Cao Ming carefully explained to him the proper way to set up camp. Yang Yi was just about to leave when another fast horse suddenly arrived with an urgent report. "Jieting and Liliu City have both been lost." After hearing this, Kong Ming stamped his foot and sighed deeply. The great matter is lost. This is all my fault. Kong Ming quickly summoned Guan Xing and Zhang Bao and instructed them, each of you take 3,000 elite soldiers and set out through the small roads of Wugong Mountain. If you encounter Wei soldiers, do not fight them head-on. Just raise many banners, beat gongs, shout loudly, and make a show of great strength, so the Wei army thinks a great force is hidden there. They will surely retreat on their own. Do not pursue them. After the Wei army withdraws, go straight to Yangping Pass. He also ordered Zhang Yi to go first and repair Jiangge, preparing a retreat route for the great army. He secretly sent orders to the whole army to pack their baggage and be ready to withdraw at any time. He ordered Ma Dai and Zhang Wei to guard the rear and first lie in ambush in the valley, only retreating after all the units had withdrawn. He also sent trusted men in different directions to notify the officials and people of Tianshui, Nan'an, and Anding commanderies to all withdraw to Hanzhong. He also sent people to Ji County to bring Zhang Wei's mother into Hanzhong. After everything had been arranged, Kong Ming personally led 5,000 soldiers to Xiqiang first to move the grain and supplies. Suddenly, fast riders came one after another, more than 10 times, reporting, Sima Yi is leading 150,000 troops and is attacking towards Xiqiang. At this time, Kong Ming had no great generals beside him, only civil officials. Of the 5,000 soldiers, half had already been sent to transport grain, leaving only 2,500 soldiers inside the city. After hearing the report, all the officials turned pale. Kong Ming climbed the city wall and looked out. Sure enough, he saw dust rising into the sky, and the Wei army was coming towards Xiqiang in 2 routes. He immediately gave an order, hide all banners. Each soldier must stay at his post on the city walls. If anyone enters or leaves the city gates without orders, or speaks loudly and causes disorder, he will be executed at once. Open all 4 gates wide. At each gate, send 20 soldiers dressed as common people to sprinkle water and sweep the streets. If the Wei army arrives, no one is to move without permission. I have my own plan. After saying this, Kong Ming put on his crane feather cloak, wore his silk headscarf, and brought 2 young book boys with him. Carrying his zither, he climbed the city tower, sat by the railing, burned incense, and began to play. Sima Yi's vanguard scouted below the city. When they saw this scene inside the city, they did not dare advance and hurried back to report. Sima Yi did not believe it after hearing the report, so he personally rode forward and looked from a distance. Sure enough, he saw Kong Ming sitting on the city tower, smiling calmly, burning incense and playing the zither. The boy on the left held a sword, and the boy on the right held a horsetail whisk. Inside and outside the city gates, common people lowered their heads and swept the streets as if no one else were there. After Sima Yi saw this, he became deeply suspicious. He immediately returned to the central army and ordered the rear army to become the front, and the front army to become the rear, retreating toward the northern mountain road. Sima Zhao did not understand and asked, could it be that Zhu Ziyang has no soldiers in the city at all, so he is deliberately putting on this appearance? Father, why are you withdrawing? Sima Yi said. Zhu Ziyang has been cautious his whole life and never takes risks. Today, he has opened the city gates wide. There must be hidden troops inside. If our army enters, we will surely fall into his trap. How could you younger men understand? Withdraw at once. So the 2 routes of Wei troops all retreated. When Kong Ming saw the Wei army go far away, he clapped his hands and laughed. The officials asked in astonishment. Sima Yi came with 150,000 elite soldiers, yet after seeing the chancellor, he retreated. Why? Kong Ming replied, Sima Yi was certain that I have always been cautious and would never take risks. Seeing the city like this, he suspected there were hidden troops, so he withdrew. It is not that I truly wanted to take a risk. I simply had no other road left and had to do this. If I abandoned the city and fled, I had only 2,500 men. We would not get far before he captured us. Kong Ming then said, Sima Yi will surely retreat by the small road north of the mountain. I have already ordered Guan Xing and Zhang Bao to make a show of strength there. When the officials heard this, they were all amazed. Later generations wrote a poem praising this. A 3-foot zither was stronger than a mighty army when Zhu Ziyang drove back the enemy at Xiqiang, where 150,000 men turned their horses away. The local people still point to the place in wonder. Kong Ming smiled again and said, If I were Sima Yi, I would not have retreated so easily. He then ordered the people of Xiqiang to follow the army into Hanzhong, because Sima Yi would certainly return again. So Cao Ming left Xicheng and withdrew toward Hanzhong. The officials and people of Tanshe, Anding, and Nan'an commanderies also came one after another and joined them. Meanwhile, Sima Yi retreated toward the small road of Wugong Mountain. Suddenly, battle cries shook the sky behind the mountain, and drums thundered loudly. Sima Yi said to his two sons, "If I had not left, I would surely have fallen into Zhu Zhiliang's plan." Then they saw an army charging along the main road, and the banner read, "Right Guard Envoy, Tiger Wing General Zhang Bao." The Wei soldiers panicked, threw away their helmets and armor, and fled. Before they had gone far, shouts again shook the valley, and ahead a great banner waved, reading Left Guard Envoy, Dragon Rising General Guanxing. Echoes rose from all around the valley, making it impossible to tell how many Shu soldiers there were. The Wei army was already full of fear and suspicion, so they did not dare stay long. They abandoned their grain, supplies, and baggage, and fled all the way. Guanxing and Zhang Bao strictly obeyed the order and did not dare pursue. They only seized a large amount of weapons, grain, and supplies, then returned fully loaded. Sima Yi no longer dared take the main road and had no choice but to return to Jieting. At this time, Cao Zhen heard that Cao Ming was withdrawing, so he quickly led troops in pursuit. Unexpectedly, behind a mountain, a cannon sounded, and Shu soldiers poured out everywhere across the hills. The leaders were Jiang Wei and Ma Dai. Cao Zhen was greatly shocked and quickly withdrew. The vanguard Chen Zhao was cut down from his horse by Ma Dai. Cao Zhen fled back in a terrible state. The Shu army then marched through the night, and all withdrew back to Hanzhong. Meanwhile, Zhao Yun and Deng Ji had received orders to lie in ambush along the Ji Valley Road. When he heard that Kang Ming had ordered the withdrawal, Zhao Yun said to Deng Ji, "Once the Wei army knows that our army is retreating, they will surely pursue. I will first take a force and hide behind you. You carry my banner and withdraw slowly. I will protect you along the way, and will not let them come close." Guo Huai led troops to Ji Valley and ordered the vanguard Su Yong to pursue. He also warned him, "Zhao Yun is brave and unmatched. You must be careful. If he withdraws, there must be a plan." But Su Yong said, "If the commander is willing to support me, I will surely capture Zhao Yun alive." So he took 3,000 soldiers and rushed into the valley. Just as he was about to catch up with the Shu soldiers, he suddenly saw red flags with white characters appear from behind the hillside, reading, "Zhao Yun." Su Yong was greatly shocked and hurriedly pulled his troops back. Before he had run even a few li, shouts shook the sky, and an army rushed out. The leading general held a long spear, leaped forward on horseback, and shouted, "Do you recognize Zhao Zilong?" Su Yong cried out in alarm, "How can there be another Zhao Yun here?" Before he finished speaking, Zhao Yun stabbed him to death with one spear thrust. The Wei army immediately scattered. Zhao Yun continued protecting the Shu army as it moved forward. After that, Guo Huai's subordinate Wan Zheng pursued. Seeing the Wei army chasing hard, Zhao Yun reined in his horse, raised his spear, and stood at the road entrance, waiting for the enemy general. By this time, the Shu army had already gone more than 30 li. Wan Zheng recognized Zhao Yun and did not dare advance. Zhao Yun waited until dusk, then slowly withdrew. After Guo Huai's troops arrived, Wan Zheng said that Zhao Yun was still fierce and that he did not dare approach. Guo Huai ordered the pursuit to continue. Wan Zheng led several hundred strong soldiers and caught up. When they reached the forest, they suddenly heard a loud shout from behind. "Zhao Zilong is here." The Wei soldiers were so frightened that more than 100 men fell from their horses, while the rest fled in all directions. Wan Zheng forced himself forward, but Zhao Yun shot an arrow that struck the red tassel on his helmet, frightening him so badly that he fell into a mountain stream. Zhao Yun pointed at him with his spear and said, "I spare your life. Go back and tell Guo Huai to hurry and pursue." Only then did Wan Zheng escape back. Zhao Yun protected the Shu army's carts, men, and horses all the way back to Hanzhong, and along the road, not a single thing was lost. Cao Zhen and Guo Huai recovered Nan'an, Tianshui, and Anding commanderies, thinking they had won merit. Sima Yi divided his troops and advanced. Seeing that all the Shu soldiers had already withdrawn to Hanzhong, he took another force back to Xicheng. He questioned the local people and mountain hermits, and only then learned that Kang Ming had had only 2,500 soldiers in the city at the time. He had no great generals by his side, only a few civil officials, and there had been no hidden troops at all. The people of Wugong Mountain also said that Guanxing and Zhang Bao each had only 3,000 soldiers, and they had only beaten gongs and shouted in the mountains, making an empty display of strength. They had not dared truly fight. After hearing this, Sima Yi regretted it so deeply that he slapped his thigh and sighed, "I truly am not as good as Kong Ming." So he comforted the officials and people of each place, then led his army back to Chang'an to attend the Wei ruler Cao Rui. When Cao Rui saw Sima Yi return, he happily said, "Today, we were able to recover the commanderies of Longxi. This is all your achievement." Sima Yi submitted a memorial and said, "Although the Shu soldiers have withdrawn to Hanzhong, they have not yet been destroyed. I ask your majesty to assign me a great army, gather our strength, and attack Shu, so I may repay your majesty's kindness in recognizing me." Cao Rui was delighted and immediately ordered Sima Yi to prepare to raise troops. Suddenly, one man stepped out from the court ranks and reported, "I have a plan that is enough to pacify Shu and make Eastern Wu submit." The person who offered the plan in court was Minister Sun Zi. Cao Rui asked, "What good plan do you have?" Sun Zi reported, "When the great ancestor, Emperor Wu, attacked Jianglu in the past, he went through countless dangers before he succeeded. He often told the ministers, Nanzang is practically a natural prison. The road through Zi Valley is like a stone tunnel 500 li long. It is simply not a place suited for a great army to fight. Now, if we move all the troops of the state to attack Shu, Eastern Wu will surely take the chance to invade. It would be better to assign great generals to guard the dangerous passes. Let the country rest and recover, and build up our strength. After a few years, the central plains will grow stronger day by day, while Wu and Shu will naturally become suspicious of each other and attack each other. When that time comes, if we then go to punish them, would our chances of victory not be much greater?" After Cao Rui heard this, he asked Sima Yi, "What do you think of these words?" Sima Yi reported, "Minister Sun's words are completely correct." So, Cao Rui accepted Sun Zi's plan. He ordered Sima Yi to assign the generals to guard the dangerous places, left Guo Huai and Zhang He to defend Chang'an, then richly rewarded the three armies, and returned to Luoyang in the imperial carriage. Meanwhile, after Kong Ming withdrew to Hanzhong, he counted the soldiers and found that Zhao Yun and Deng Ji had not yet returned. He was very worried and ordered Guanxing and Zhang Bao to each lead one army to support them. The two were just about to set out when someone suddenly came to report, "Zhao Yun and Deng Ji have already returned. Not one man or horse has been lost, and no grain, supplies, or baggage have been abandoned." Kong Ming was delighted after hearing this, and personally led the generals out of the city to welcome them. Zhao Yun quickly dismounted, knelt and said, "I am a defeated general. How could I trouble the chancellor to come so far to welcome me in person?" Kong Ming helped him up, held his hand, and sighed. "It is because I could not tell the worthy from the unworthy that today's defeat happened." All the other troops suffered heavy losses, yet only Zilong did not lose a single man or horse. Why is this? Deng Ji reported, "I led the troops ahead first, while General Zilong stayed behind alone to guard the rear. He killed enemy generals and shook the Wei army with fear. When the enemy saw him, none dared come close. That is why not one piece of military equipment or baggage was abandoned." Kong Ming praised him and said, "A true general." So he took 50 jin of gold to reward Zhao Yun, and 10,000 bolts of silk to reward Zhao Yun's men. Zhao Yun declined and said, "Our soldiers have won no merit. Instead, we are guilty. If we receive rewards now, would that not mean the Chancellor's rewards and punishments are unclear? Please first place these rewards in the treasury. It will not be too late to give them to the armies this winter." After hearing this, Kong Ming sighed and said, "When the late emperor was alive, he often praised Zilong's virtue. Now I see that it is indeed true." From then on, he respected Zhao Yun even more. Before long, someone else came to report, "Ma Su, Wang Ping, Wei Yan, and Gao Shang have all arrived." Kong Ming first summoned Wang Ping into the tent and questioned him. "I ordered you and Ma Su to guard Jiding together. Why did you not advise him, leading to this defeat?" Wang Ping replied, "I repeatedly advised him to build a camp at the key point on the main road and firmly defend the important route. But the army advisor became furious and refused to listen. I had no choice but to take 5,000 men and set up camp 10 li away from the mountain." Later, the Wei army suddenly arrived and surrounded the mountain on all sides. I attacked several times, but I could not break through and rescue them. The next day, the Shu army on the mountain collapsed completely, and countless men surrendered. I was alone and could not hold out, so I went to find Wei Wenchang and ask for help. On the way, I was surrounded by Wei troops in a valley and only fought my way out with my life. When I hurried back to the main camp, the camp had already been taken by the Wei army. Later, I divided troops with Wei Yan and Gao Song to raid the camp and tried to retake Jieting, but we found that there was not a single soldier in Jieting, so we became suspicious. When I climbed high and looked out, I saw Wei Yan and Gao Song surrounded, so I charged into the encirclement and rescued the two generals. After that, I feared Yangping Pass might be lost, so I hurried back to defend it. It is not that I did not advise him. If the Chancellor does not believe me, you may ask the officers of each unit. Kong Ming shouted Wang Ping back, then summoned Ma Su into the tent. Ma Su had already bound himself and was kneeling before the tent. Kong Ming's expression changed greatly, and he said sternly, "Since childhood you have studied military books well and deeply understood methods of war. I reminded you many times that Jieting was the foundation of our army. You guaranteed this task with the lives of your whole family. If you had listened to Wang Ping earlier, how could today's disaster have happened? Now our soldiers have been defeated, our generals have suffered losses, our land has been lost, and our cities have fallen. All of this is your fault. If I do not enforce military law clearly, how can I convince the army? You have violated military orders. Do not blame me. After your death, I will give your family salary and grain every month. You do not need to worry." After saying this, Kong Ming ordered the men on both sides to take Ma Su out and behead him. Ma Su cried and said, "The Chancellor has treated me like a son, and I have regarded the Chancellor like a father. I have committed a capital crime, and truly cannot escape death. I only hope the Chancellor will follow the spirit of Emperor Shun, who executed Gun but later used you. If so, even if I die beneath the 9 springs, I will have no resentment." Kong Ming also wept and said, "You and I were as close as brothers. Your sons are my sons. There is no need to say more." The men on both sides took Ma Su out through the camp gate and were just about to carry out the execution. Army advisor Zhang Wan had arrived from Chengdu. When he saw the warriors about to behead Ma Su, he was shocked and shouted, "Stay the blade." He entered the tent, paid respects to Kong Ming, and said, "In the past, when Chu killed De Chen, Duke Wen of Jin was delighted because of it. Now the great cause has not yet been completed, yet you are about to kill a minister with wisdom and strategy. Is that not a pity?" Kong Ming answered through his tears, "The reason Sang Wu could be victorious throughout the world was precisely because he enforced the law strictly. Now the 4 sides are divided, and the war has only just begun. If we abandon the law, how can we punish the rebels? Ma Su must be beheaded." Before long, the warriors presented Ma Su's head. Kong Ming burst into loud weeping and could not stop for a long time. Zheng Wan asked, "Yu Cheng has already been dealt with according to military law. Why does the Chancellor still weep?" Kong Ming said through tears, "I am not crying for Ma Su. I am remembering what the late Emperor told me when he entrusted the orphan to me at Baidi City. He once warned me, Ma Su speaks beyond his real ability. He must not be used for great tasks. Now those words have indeed come true. I hate myself for not seeing clearly. I am crying because I remember the late Emperor's words." After the soldiers and generals present heard this, none could hold back their tears. Ma Su died at the age of 39. It was the 5th month of summer, in the 6th year of Jiangxing. After Kong Ming executed Ma Su, he had the head shown to all the camps. Then he ordered men to sew the head back onto the body and place it in a coffin. He personally wrote a funeral text and offered sacrifice to him, and he gave special support to Ma Su's family, sending them salary and grain every month. After that, Kong Ming personally wrote a memorial and asked Zhang Wan to present it to the later Lord Liu Shan, requesting to demote himself from the office of Chancellor. Zhang Wan returned to Chengdu, entered the palace, and presented the memorial. Liu Shan opened it and read it. In the memorial, Kong Ming wrote that he was originally a mediocre man, yet he held a high position, carried the staff and battle axe, and commanded the 3 armies. Now he had failed to judge military law clearly, and had used the wrong people, causing Jieting to disobey orders and Ji Valley to be lost. The responsibility was all on him. According to the meaning of the Spring and Autumn Annals, which places responsibility on the commander, he requested to be demoted by 3 ranks in order to punish his faults. After Liu Shan read it, he said, "Victory and defeat are common in war. Why must the Chancellor do this?" Palace attendant Fei Yi stepped forward and reported, "I have heard that in governing a state, law comes first. If the law cannot be carried out, how can the people be convinced? The Chancellor suffered defeat and has requested demotion for himself. This is proper." Liu Shan listened to him. He then issued an edict demoting Kong Ming to Right General, while allowing him to act as Chancellor, and continue commanding the army as before. He also ordered Fei Yi to take the edict to Hanzhong. After Kong Ming received the edict of demotion, Fei Yi worried that he would feel ashamed, so he comforted him and said, "The people of Shu were very happy when they heard that the chancellor had previously recovered the 4 commanderies of Tianshui, Nan'an, Anding, and Guangwei." Kong Ming's face changed and he said, "What kind of words are these? If something is gained and then lost again, how is it different from never gaining it at all? You use this to congratulate me, but it only makes me feel ashamed." Fei Yi then said, "Recently, I heard that the chancellor gained Jiangwei, and the Son of Heaven was also very pleased." Kong Ming said angrily, "The army was defeated and returned. We did not take even 1 inch of land. This is my great crime. What loss is 1 Jiangwei to Wei?" Fei Yi then asked, "The chancellor still commands the great army now. Can you attack Wei again?" Kong Ming replied, "Previously, when our army was stationed at Mount Qi in Ji Valley, our forces were greater than the Wei armies, yet we could not win and were instead defeated by the enemy. This defeat was not because of the number of troops, but because the commander used the wrong people. Now I plan to reduce the army, simplify the command, make rewards and punishments strict, reflect on my mistakes, and wait to change strategy in the future. If we do not do this, what use would more soldiers have? From now on, if all of you can diligently point out my faults and criticize my shortcomings, then there will be a day when our affairs can succeed and the rebels can be destroyed." After Fei Yi and the generals heard this, they all admired him. Then Fei Yi returned to Chengdu. In Hanzhong, Kong Ming cared for the soldiers, comforted the people, encouraged the troops to train in martial skills, and also made equipment for attacking cities and crossing rivers. He stored grain and supplies, prepared war rafts, and continued planning for future northern campaigns. Spies reported all of this to Luoyang. When the Wei ruler Cao Rui learned of it, he immediately summoned Sima Yi to discuss a plan for attacking Shu. Sima Yi said, "Shu should not be attacked right now. The weather is hot, and the Shu soldiers will certainly not move out. If our army goes deep into their land, and they hold the dangerous passes firmly, we will not be able to take them quickly." Cao Rui asked, "If the Shu soldiers invade again, then what should we do?" Sima Yi replied, "I expect Zhu Zhiliang will next imitate Han Xin's strategy of secretly crossing at Chensang. I recommend one man to go to the mouth of the Chensang road and build a city there to defend it. Then nothing can go wrong. This man is 9 chi tall, with arms as long as an ape's. He is skilled in archery and has strategy. If Zhu Zhiliang comes to attack, this man is enough to resist him." Cao Rui was delighted and asked, "Who is this man?" Sima Yi replied, "He is from Taiyuan. His surname is Hao, his name is Zhao, and his courtesy name is Bodao. He is now a miscellaneous title general and guards Hexi." Cao Rui listened to him, promoted Hao Zhao to general who guards the west, ordered him to guard the mouth of the Chensong road, and sent an envoy with an edict to him. Suddenly, another report came in, saying that the Yangzhou commander Cao Xiu had submitted a memorial. Zhou Fang, the governor of Poyang in eastern Wu, was willing to bring his commandery and counties to surrender to Wei. He had also secretly presented a memorial explaining 7 advantages for defeating eastern Wu, asking the court to send troops as soon as possible. Cao Rui opened the memorial on the imperial couch and read it together with Sima Yi. Sima Yi reported, "These words seem to make sense. Eastern Wu appears close to collapse. I am willing to take 1 army to assist Cao Xiu." At this time, one man stepped forward from the court ranks and said, "The people of Wu are changeable and cannot be trusted lightly. Zhou Fang is a man of wisdom and strategy. It is impossible that he would truly surrender. This must be a plan to lure our army deep inside." Everyone looked and saw that this man was Jia Kui, general who establishes might. Sima Yi said, "These words cannot be ignored, but this opportunity also cannot be missed." So Cao Rui ordered Sima Yi and Jia Kui to go together and assist Cao Xiu. Therefore, Cao Xiu led a great army straight toward Wan City. Jia Kui led Front General Manchang and Hu Ji, the governor of Dongguan, straight toward Yangcheng and then toward Dongguan Pass. Sima Yi led his own troops to attack Jiangling. Meanwhile, the Wu ruler Sun Quan was at Dongguan in Wuchang. He gathered the ministers to discuss matters and said, "Zhou Fang, the governor of Poyang, has secretly submitted a memorial saying that Cao Xiu, the Yangzhou commander of Wei, intends to invade our state. Now, Zhou Feng has pretended to surrender and has listed 7 advantages, luring the Wei army deep inside. The Wei army has already come in 3 routes. What wise advice do you have? Gu Yang stepped forward and said, "For a matter this great, no one but Lu Boyang can handle it." Sun Quan was delighted. He summoned Lu Xun to court and appointed him general who supports the state and grand marshal who pacifies the north. Lu Xun was given command over most of the imperial guards, was allowed to act on the king's behalf, and was granted the white yak-tail banner and yellow battle axe. All civil and military officials were ordered to obey his commands. Sun Quan personally held the whip for Lu Xun. After Lu Xun accepted the order, he recommended general who displays might, Zhu Huan, and general who pacifies the south, Quan Kong, as left and right commanders. Sun Quan approved this and appointed Zhu Huan as left commander and Quan Kong as right commander. So Lu Xun took overall command of all the troops from Jiangnan and Jingzhou. He ordered Zhu Huan to take the left, Quan Kong to take the right, while he himself held the center, and the 3 routes advanced together. Zhu Huan offered a plan and said, "Cao Xiu holds high office because he is a member of the imperial family, not because he is truly a general of wisdom and courage. Now he has believed Zhou Feng's false surrender and has gone deep into dangerous ground. He will surely suffer a major defeat. After he retreats, he will most likely take the 2 small mountain paths of Jiaxi and Guoqi. I am willing to take one army, while Quan Kong takes another, and lie in ambush at the dangerous points. We can first block the roads with firewood, grass, and large stones. Then we will surely capture Cao Xiu. If we capture Cao Xiu, we can march straight ahead, take Shaochen, and then plan for Dudu and Luoyang. This is a chance that may not appear in 10,000 years." But Lu Xun said, "This is not the best plan. I have my own use for this situation." Zhu Huan was displeased in his heart, but he had no choice but to withdraw. Lu Xun then ordered Zhu Jiejin and the others to firmly guard Jiang, in order to resist Sima Yi. All the other armies were also assigned to their positions. Meanwhile, Cao Xiu's great army was already close to Wan City. Zhou Feng came to welcome him and went straight into Cao Xiu's tent. Cao Xiu asked, "I have already received your letter. The 7 strategies you described make great sense. So I reported them to the Son of Heaven, and we have advanced in 3 routes. If we can take Jiangdong, your merit will not be small. But some people say you are full of tricks, and I worry that your words may not be true. Surely you will not deceive me, would you?" After Zhou Feng heard this, he burst into tears and quickly drew his sword to kill himself. Cao Xiu hurriedly stopped him. Zhou Feng held the sword and said, "The 7 plans I presented are so sincere that I wish I could cut open my heart to show you. Now the commander instead suspects me. This must be a plan of division by the Wu people. If the commander believes these words, then I will die here today. Only heaven can prove my loyalty." After saying this, he again tried to kill himself. Cao Xiu was greatly shocked, held him back and said, "I was only joking. Why go this far?" Zhou Feng then used his sword to cut off his hair and threw it on the ground, saying, "I treated the commander with loyalty, yet the commander took it as a joke. I cut off the hair given to me by my parents to prove my heart." Only then did Cao Xiu fully believe him, and he held a banquet to entertain Zhou Feng. After Zhou Feng left, Jia Kui came to request an audience. Cao Xiu asked, "Why have you come?" Jia Kui said, "I expect the Eastern Wu army must be stationed at Wan City. Commander, you must not advance lightly. You should wait for me to attack from another side. Only then can we defeat the enemy." Cao Xiu flew into a rage. "Are you trying to steal my credit?" Jia Kui said again. "I heard that Zhou Feng cut his hair as an oath, but this may still not be trustworthy. In ancient times, Yao Li cut off his arm and still assassinated Qing Ji. Such actions do not necessarily prove true loyalty." Jia Xiu was furious. "I am just about to advance, and yet you speak words that shake the army's morale." He ordered the men on both sides to drag Jia Kui out and behead him. The generals quickly pleaded for mercy. "Before the army has even advanced, killing a great general first will damage morale. Please spare him for now, Commander." Only then did Cao Xiu stop. He took away Jia Kui's military authority, kept Jia Kui's troops in the camp for his own use, and personally led the army to attack Dongguan. When Zhou Feng learned that Jia Kui's military authority had been taken away, he was secretly delighted. If Cao Xiu had listened to Jia Kui, Eastern Wu would surely have been defeated. Today, heaven is truly helping me. He then secretly sent someone to Wan City to report the news to Lu Xun. Lu Xun summoned the generals and gave orders. Ahead of us, Shiting is a mountain road, but it is enough for an ambush. We can occupy the open ground at Shiting early, set up our formation, and wait for the Wei army. So he ordered Zhu Sheng to serve as vanguard and lead troops ahead first. Meanwhile, Cao Xiu ordered Zhou Fang to guide the way forward. As they marched, Cao Xiu asked, "Where are we now?" Zhou Fang answered, "Ahead is Shiting. It is a place where troops can be stationed." Cao Xiu listened to him and led the great army, together with the carts, command carriages, and supplies, all to Shiting to set up camp. The next day, scouts reported, "There are countless Wu troops ahead, and they have already occupied the mountain pass." Cao Xiu was greatly shocked. Zhou Fang said there were no soldiers in the city. Why are the Wu troops already prepared? He hurriedly looked for Zhou Fang, but someone reported, "Zhou Fang has taken a few dozen men and gone somewhere unknown." Only then did Cao Xiu regret it. He cried out, "I have fallen into that traitor's trap." Even so, there is still nothing to fear. So he ordered the great general Zhang Pu to serve as vanguard and take several thousand soldiers to fight the Wu army. The two armies faced each other, and Zhang Pu rode out to challenge. Xu Sheng came forward to meet him. The two fought for many rounds, but Zhang Pu could not hold out. He pulled back his horse and returned to see Cao Xiu, saying that Xu Sheng was too brave to resist. Cao Xiu said, "I will defeat him with surprise troops." So he ordered Zhang Pu to take 20,000 soldiers and lie in ambush south of Sheting, and Zhu Cao to take 20,000 soldiers and lie in ambush north of Sheting. The next day, he would personally lead 1,000 soldiers to challenge, pretend to lose, and lure the Wu army to the front of the northern mountain. At the sound of a cannon, they would attack from three sides. Zhang Pu and Zhu Cao each led their troops to lie in ambush. On Lu Xun's side, he also summoned Zhu Huan and Quan Kong and instructed them, "Each of you take 30,000 troops and circle around through the mountain roads of Shiting to the rear of Cao Xiu's camp. Use fire as the signal. I will personally lead the great army and attack from the center. We will surely capture Cao Xiu." At dusk, Zhu Huan and Quan Kong led their troops out. At the second watch, Zhu Huan circled around to the rear of the Wei camp and happened to meet Zhang Pu's ambush troops. Zhang Pu did not know they were Wu soldiers and came forward to question them, but Zhu Huan cut him down from his horse with one strike. The Wei army immediately fell into disorder, and Zhu Huan ordered the rear troops to set fires. Quan Kong also circled around to the rear of the Wei camp from another side and ran straight into Zhou Chao's formation. A great slaughter followed. Zhu Chao was defeated and fled, while the Wei army suffered heavy losses and rushed back to the main camp in disorder. At this time, Zhu Huan and Quan Kong's two Wu armies attacked from the rear, and Cao Xiu's camp instantly fell into chaos. The Wei soldiers trampled one another. Cao Xiu hurriedly mounted his horse and fled wildly toward Jiaxi Road. Xu Sheng also led the great army and attacked from the main road. Countless Wei soldiers were killed or wounded, and those fleeing for their lives abandoned their clothes and armor. Cao Xiu was in panic and fled desperately through Jiaxi Road. Suddenly, a force of soldiers charged out from a small path. The leading general was Jie Kui. When Cao Xiu saw him, his heart became a little calmer, and he said in shame, "I did not listen to you, and sure enough, I have suffered this great defeat." Jie Kui said, "Commander, you must get out of this dangerous road quickly. If the Wu army blocks the way with wood and stones, we will all be in danger." So Cao Xiu urged his horse forward quickly, while Jie Kui guarded the rear. In places where the woods were dense and the road was dangerous, Jie Kui set up many banners as false troops. When Xu Sheng pursued them and saw the edges of banners faintly appearing below the hillside, he suspected there were hidden troops and did not dare continue chasing, so he withdrew and returned. Because of this, Cao Xiu was able to escape danger. When Sima Yi heard that Cao Xiu had suffered a major defeat, he also led his army back. Meanwhile, Lu Xun waited for news of victory. Before long, Xu Sheng, Zhu Huan, and Quan Kong returned to camp one after another. They had captured countless carts, oxen, horses, donkeys, mules, military supplies, and weapons, and there were also tens of thousands of surrendered soldiers. Lu Xun was delighted and immediately returned to Wu with Governor Zhou Feng and the generals. The Wu ruler San Quan led the civil and military officials out of Wucheng City to welcome them. He used the ceremonial umbrellas and canopies of the Son of Heaven to escort Lu Xun into the city, and all the generals received promotions and rewards. When San Quan saw that Zhou Feng had cut off his hair, he comforted and praised him, saying, You cut your hair and accomplished a great matter. Your merit and fame should be written on bamboo and silk." He immediately made Zhou Feng marquis within the passes, then held a great banquet to reward the soldiers and generals and celebrate the great victory. Lu Sun submitted a report and said, "Now that Cao Xiu has suffered a major defeat, Wei has already lost its courage. We can write a letter and send an envoy to Shu, advising Zhu Zhiliang to take advantage of the situation and send troops to attack Wei." Sun Quan listened to him and sent an envoy with a letter to Shu. In this episode, Zhuge Liang's first northern campaign won battle after battle for a time. But in the end, because Jiting was lost, he had no choice but to withdraw back to Hanzhong. Ma Su relied too much on the fact that he had studied military books. He refused to listen to Wang Ping's repeated advice, abandoned the important road, and stationed his troops on the mountain. As a result, Sima Yi cut off his water supply and surrounded him. The Shu army fell into chaos, and Jiting was lost. Once Jiting was lost, Zhuge Liang's grain route and retreat route were both threatened. The originally promising situation of the northern campaign suddenly turned sharply for the worse. Facing this crisis, Cao Ming did not panic. He first arranged for the people and officials of the three commanderies to withdraw to Hanzhong. Then he ordered Guanxing and Zhang Bao to make a show of strength and frighten Sima Yi away. He himself set up the empty city strategy at Xixing, using only a little over 2,000 soldiers to force Sima Yi's 150,000 troops to retreat. But even so, the first northern campaign could no longer continue. After returning to Hanzhong, Cao Ming executed Ma Su with tears in his eyes and made military law strict. He also requested to be demoted, taking all the blame upon himself. But what truly hurt him in this defeat was not only the loss of Jiting. It was the fact that Liu Bei's final warning, "Ma Su speaks beyond his real ability and must not be used for great tasks," had finally come true. At the same time, Tao Wei also began to change its strategy. Sun Zi advised Tao Rui not to rush into attacking Shu, but instead to guard the dangerous passes and let the country rest and recover. Sima Yi also predicted that Zhuge Liang might take the Chencang road in his next campaign, so he recommended Hao Zhao to guard Chencang, setting up a defensive line in advance for the next great battle. On the other side, Eastern Wu used Zhou Fang's false surrender plan to lure Cao Su deep into Shiting. Cao Su refused to listen to Jia Kui's warning and trusted Zhou Fang too easily. In the end, he was attacked from three directions by Lu Sun, Zhu Huan, and Quan Kong, and the Wei army suffered a major defeat. After the Battle of Shiting, Eastern Wu's morale rose greatly, and Sun Quan immediately sent an envoy to Shu Han, urging Zhu Zhiliang to take this chance and send troops to attack Wei again. The first northern campaign had only just failed, and Zhuge Liang was still reorganizing the army in Hanzhong and preparing for war. Tao Wei was guarding against Shu Han on one side, while on the other side, it had just suffered a major defeat at the hands of Eastern Wu. Eastern Wu now took advantage of the situation and pushed for Wu and Shu to join forces again and attack Cao Wei from both sides. So will Zhuge Liang accept Eastern Wu's suggestion and launch another northern campaign? Will the Chencang defensive line prepared by Sima Yi in advance be able to stop the Shu army's attack? And Hao Zhao, the man guarding Chencang, what ability does he have that makes Sima Yi value him so highly? We'll continue the story in the next episode. If you enjoyed today's episode, feel free to give the show a like, subscribe, and share it with someone you think would enjoy it too. Thank you for spending this time with me. I will see you in the next episode.
Sky in light, Nua healed the broken heart. Fuxi traced the world's design. Every age leaves stories bright. Yaya dynasty shaped bronze. Shang dynasty cast oracle bones. Thou dynasty built right. Qin dynasty forged the great walls. Han dynasty opened Silk Road winds. Three Kingdoms dynasty turned war to ancient end. Every age leaves stories bright, history and myth ignite in endless light. China's history moves in mystery through the night. Footsteps of this land enchant the world in light. Kingdoms dynasty turn war to tales. Qin dynasty led ink and mountains bloom. Sui dynasty carved the Grand Canal. Tang dynasty crowned the world with art. Song dynasty raised learn